See if I can make this make sense. All right. First off, something to do with brass. I'm gonna go into some of the stuff I've done. Shotshell. All right. If you're hard up for reloading blocks, just collect these at your range to work really well. And the price is right. People throw them away all the time. Other than that, whoops, get yourself a 10 mil Forstner bit. That's what I use because for 223 this is. The other stuff, change it up. But I mean, these are 3/8, and that would be tight. 10 mil gives you just a little bit of room, but not much. eBay, $1.50, I think, shipped from China. Yeah, works really well. Pretty much any piece of wood becomes a reloading block rather quickly. Print up some graph paper, go to town. I only own 3 Forstner bits, and they actually happen to all be metric. That one, a 20 mil and a 23 mil, which I got for shotgun. The 23 is just a little snug on the brass, which grips. Sometimes a little too snug, but this is one of those blue cases that American Reloading was selling a couple of years ago. And lots of 2000 for like $80. Virgin 2 3/4, factory primed, Rio. But they couldn't tell you that because of contractual obligations. So yeah, these were like 4 cents a pop for the whole thing. When I bought my shotgun, I went in reloading. That's when I started, and I did it the hard way. Using components, a combination of components for which there's no reload data. These are the what they list as Fiocchi. This is the 27. Powder Valley and Graf sell lots of 2000 for like $37 to $40, so they're pretty cheap. And check this out. Okay, 7/8 ounce Lee slug fits perfectly. Now there's very little. There's only a couple instances where we found data for these, but PT1205 and other people figured out some stuff on Shotgun World, so there's actually data. And when I started 2 years ago, it was right when powder shortages and all that crap, so everyone was discovering the Vectin powders by Noble Sport. So that was another thing that really didn't have any data out there. Nice combo, right? But luckily, straight wall hulls are much more forgiving than tapered, so you know, it all works out pretty well. Let's see. No, my Mech Junior, it's the new kind, it's all plastic parts. The pin for the cam roller and the final crimp, shortly after I got it, something went wonky with that, and it would work out. The roller would drop and it would mangle crimps. It took me a while to figure out what had actually happened. I tried adjusting it, and not knowing what I was doing either. Took me a while to figure out, oh, this pin is worked out. And I got that in about every 20 shells, it would work out, mangle another crimp. Luckily, I figured it out under warranty, and they sent me a new one, so that's all good. But in the meantime, what I did was I made myself some jigs. Not that I, ever do that, right? I started out, this one, I made it, it takes into consideration the rim, so that's measured in. Now on this one, 2 1/4 is the final length. So, say I mangle a hull. Now interestingly, this is the only shell I've run across that's just too short. And it was in the trash can at the range. But now, these I bought, also Top Gun. These are long enough. So, very interesting. But push that in there. And you can see it sticks up just enough for that ridge. Take your razor blade, trim that off, and actually where the folds are, those will still be attached. It's just that close. You gotta go in and just cut them. Just those 6 or 8 spots. But once you trim that off, pry one open, dump out your shot, trim those out, and then so your powder is easily reclaimed. Get one of these. Well, you can see the length. One of these pill jars. This top. That broke. I used my 20 mil. I cut that. It's pressure fit. It's sealed. The powder won't come out. Put that in there. And just. And your wad will work out. It'll drop. The powder will come around it pretty much. Or if not, as you slowly take off the top, and your powder will be contained. You can reclaim it. You don't mangle the wad trying to hook it, pry it out. It save everything. Then this is cut down for your shorter crimp. Get some short shell wads or some gas checks, listen to me, gas seals, and now you got some 2-inch, right? 2 1/4, sorry, 2 1/4. My mistake. And if you mangle that one, you got these options. This is a Gila mini shell length, 1 7/8. It'll make 1 5/8 shells. Or you can go 1 3/4 and get 1 1/2 shells. Roll crimp. These definitely roll crimp, but yeah. What you get is 1 1/2 total length after roll crimp. Now, as far as roll crimp, what I did, this is 1 inch thick. Cut me a little board. I took my 23, and just went in just a little bit so that the base will, is inset, so it's not sitting on it. Then I took because that sets up a nice little pilot. And then I took the 20 and finished the hole. It takes some pressure, and this way you're not trying to sit there, hold it while it's really everything's really close. There's enough clearance, so you're not bottoming out. And if it starts to spin, it just takes a little bit of pressure, and you just sit. It'll sit there on your drill press table. Just all nice. Let's see. Yeah, like these. Let's see. This one's easy to read. 21 grains of 206V, which is a Vectin powder. And it's got 8 number 1s in it with an X12X gas seal. Something I picked up from Bubba Roundtree, labeling them all. So even if they get mixed, I can, separate them. Know what I'm dealing with. Let's see. What else was there? I'm sure there was something else. There's always something else. Oh yeah. Now, you're probably thinking, damn, that's a lot of powder in that little sucker. Well, originally, my first thing I wanted to duplicate was these. Noble Sport makes Vectin powder. These are, can you see? Law Enforcement. It's, well, you can see FS12. Well, it's a Gualandi, I forget their designation. And it has 6 double-aught. It's 1,250 feet per second. These little they're 2 1/4 shells. Kick like a mule. But those things, I measured the, I dissected one, weighed the powder, and I think it's 24.5 grains of 206V in there. And I know it's 206V because I contacted Noble Sport and they told me. They actually told me what's in it. Unlike Hodgdon or Federal or anybody, they don't want to give out their secret blends. Noble Sport makes the powder and they make OEM powders. It's what they sell to you and me is what's in here. They were straight up about it. This is what's in there. So then what I did was I contacted Gualandi. If you look on their reloading data on Gualandi, you'll notice that it isn't separated into what kind of wad you got except paper. I think it's paper and plastic. No, that's the hulls. Hulls, paper and plastic. But all the data, it doesn't say what kind of wad. It's just generic across the board. Think about that. Straight walls are very forgiving. It's not, this wad you need this kind of, and that wad you need this kind of load. Nope, they're all the same. Now, what I did was, 2 3/4 is 70 millimeter. I told them I wanted to cut, all their data was for 70 mil. I said, I want to cut them down to 57 mil or 50 mil, which is 57 is real close to 2 1/4, 50 is real close to 2. And what they did was I sent them a list of all the powders I had, like 7 or 8 powders, basically Hodgdon and Vectin. They ran it through by their ballisticians, and they got back to me, and they told me for 57 to cut it down to 57 to reduce. Now they use grams. They said for 57 mil, cut it down 0.1 gram. That's 1.54 grains. Not a lot. And for the 50, 0.12 grams, which is 1.85 grains. Okay, going from this to this is a 1.85 grain reduction in powder. And they told me for all your powders, basically any powder, just reduce it. So basically this little puppy has got almost a full powder charge. It's insane. And like I said, it wasn't me just, whoa, let's see. But the interesting thing is, I know what's in this. This is the same powder. Like the Aguila Minis, they use some kind of red dot. We know there's, 57 varieties of red dot out there, give or take a couple hundred. And they're using like 14 or 15 grains in something that long. So, makes you wonder, how reduced are their loads compared to this? And, I got my info from manufacturer, not just out of my butt. They're little flamethrowers, let me tell you. And, well, I want to duplicate these because, well, I got a KSG, so it eats these like jelly beans. Not a problem. And, these little jigs, they work good. Working on no budget, so no money. Just scrap wood. Fire up the table saw, drill press, and, a little measurement. No money. There's a lot of ways to save bucks. Pays for powder and primer. Well, figured I'd share that with you. Like I said, with these, there's only that one I picked up out of the garbage can and at the range that is just too short for this. Just barely, too. If I angle my knife a little bit, it'd take care of it. I've cut a lot of casings down over the last couple of years, and they've all been just right there. Said it just shaves, basically just takes the top off. The folded plastic is about all that disappears. It's a whole lot easier. It makes a nice straight cut. It's not all jagged and wonky. It's straighter than the casings I was trimming to make bullets. But yeah, there's all kinds of ways to save you some money. Just sit and think about it. Problem presents itself. Think of a solution. Look for a product that solves it, and then see if you can make something that is close enough that it'll work for your needs. The reason I actually bought the 23 mil was to make a reloading tray for 12 gauge. I messed it up a little bit. I think it's it'll hold 100. All right, it's overkill, but I got carried away. It's like, I got a board here. I'll do some measurements. It'll do 100. Drill away. What I tend to do is I'll put a row of wads and a row of hulls. That way I've got a matching pair, and I can tell easily which ones I've worked on, which ones are finished, and it helps me organize them. So in the long run, it's a 50 shell tray. All right, well, figured I'd share that and see what you guys think. All right, you have a good one. God bless. See ya. Yeah, clean up, and I realized I forgot to add something. If any of you know of a short wad that will hold 7/8 ounce Lee slugs for inch and a half, inch and a half, right, inch and 3/4 to 2 1/4 hulls. Let me know. What BPI sells short shell wad. Forget what Qualandi calls them, BP12 or something like that. They have a ridge in the cup, so you can't actually fit, or ridges, vertical ridges. You can't actually put a slug in them. So it's the closest thing, but yet so far. Or some other way to make them work. The Aguila mini slugs, they're proprietary. The base wad is proprietary. You just can't. But I think it'd be really cool to be able to, replicate that. Buckshot's easy. Slugs are another matter altogether. All right. Well, hopefully somebody's got a solution. All right. Later.